Hello again. So a while ago I made a little video on Symbaroum and its implementation on the Foundry VTT. Since I made that, it had a good number of views, about 500 of you watched it, which is really great. But also the system has really come along. Bither and Paul Watson and Kali have been working on the system for a little while now, taking it over from Perfectro beforehand. And as you can see, this is version 2.22 that I'm working on, that we are in the middle of April right now, 21. So hopefully this will show you a few of the things that are included and things that work or don't work. Symbaroum is a great system. It's the mood, the setting is absolutely outstanding. It allows me certainly to tell stories that I want to tell. And for that, I just love the system. The dice rolling, I could probably quite happily substitute, for example, a Forbidden Lands mechanism for it. But it has got its merits, and it's actually quite a quick way, a quick system to play at the table. And that's always good, because I don't want to just be having one fight for a whole evening when I play this online. So I'm going probably to split this out into two, or maybe even three videos. This first one, I'm going to show you what's in the system, how you can get the information that is delivered with the system as is, with the free system, maybe how to fill in some of the gaps that are being left. I will probably then go into setting up a character, just showing you how to do that and how to populate a character with the different skills, possibly even with a portrait or token, we'll see. And then a later video I'm going to show you how to use it as in how to play through a fight, or how to do some skill rolls or skill challenges. And if I still have the time after that and the will, I might show you what they call the enhanced combat functionality as well. So before I do much else, I want to show you briefly the modules that I've got installed here. I've got installed lots of them, as you can see, but for this demo I just really reduced my number of modules down. So I've got some ready-made maps from Kaora, always great stuff. Compendium folders, because I always have them on. You don't need them on condition. I can hover zoom, just makes it a bit easier to show stuff on the video later on. The scene enhancement is the scene navigation I like about Dice So Nice, where you always have to have those, right? Easy target comes for later. Fog manager, because I've got one map with a manually applied fog that I use. FX master, because it's just great and it looks great. Point on pings, well, just if I want to highlight something, I can easily do that with that on. And tidy UI, so this whole setup looks a bit easier. And token mold, just to make it a bit easier again to set up my new tokens later on. So, what comes with the system is my first spot. Well, one of the first things, once you start the system up, you need to check out is the compendiums that come with it. So a lot of the reference materials have been set up in compendia. Like this, so originally it gets closed like this, so you have the default ones, and you think, oh, that's not a lot, right, that's just token mold. But if you look in the item ones, you see this is where the work, this is where the magic happened from the Symbaroum team here. So we've got items in German, and English, and Espanol, and Francais, and in Svenska. So you have lots of them. Of course, you don't need them all in your game. So what you need to do is pick the language you want. You can have a look at them, you can have a preview of them. Not all the translations are complete, and not all of them are great, from what I looked through a couple of them. But the English is pretty solid. So you can see that they set all the different abilities up here, for example, with lovely icons, colored icons. So that's all done for you. And if you look into these, what they come with is just that. So you get a picture. You have the ability for some of them, by clicking on this D20 here, to actually roll them, and you have a description empty with the different levels empty. All of this is empty because that is copyrighted material, and Free League have not given their permission for that one. However, I think it's great that they have given the permission to include these skills, because that takes a lot of work. If you have the books at home and you don't need this extra information at the bottom, you can go and play right away, and that's just lovely. Lots of other systems don't do that. So if you want to, for example, include this abilities from English, and armors and powers, you can see traits and their weapons and there. You right-click on them in the compendium, you say import all content, and once that runs through, I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again, it will copy it across here into the item category. Also make sure you look at the journal entry. This should pop up the first time you start the system. Yeah, so you get a lovely little introduction that talks you through a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about today, So if you want to read up on it, you find it easier to work it on here, or probably I'll forget lots of stuff anyway. Have a look at this. It talks you through the whole process. And if you're like me, a lot of people click away the splash string when you first have a system there and you don't properly read it and then you forget about it. This is where you find it. Compendia journal entry. And the last thing that people also forget is it comes with 2 macros. At this point it's only 2. I'm sure there will be more coming. One is absolutely great as an NPC importer. I'll show you that later as well. And the Symbaroum name generator, very, very handy. If your players are anything like mine, they go off the beaten track very quickly, and you need a quick way of having names, and this one will do it for you. I'll show you that later as well. So first things first. I've shown you how to import something, and if I now look at my item list here, for example, I've got the abilities, yeah, all set up. I've got the traits, not quite as pretty, but fair enough. We've got powers. These are mystic powers, what's not currently in here is rituals, but I've got my own setup for that. You've got armors, and if you know Symbaroum, you know that basically they are by armor types. So if you want to have lots of different flavors of these, it's very easy to make a duplicate for yourself. Yeah, duplicate here. Call this instead, I don't know, you don't want to call it heavy armor, you want to call it Templar's plate. Yeah, but and you may want to tweak some of the stats here or qualities, then you can do so. These qualities actually, as far as I can tell, are already connected to the stats behind the scene. You can also have particular bonuses on here on lots of different things. And even you could say that this armor, because they are so important, the Templars they have a better corruption threshold while they're wearing this armor. And you can always key in an answer for any value for any of these things, or you can use your mouse wheel to increase or decrease these. So that's the UI convention in this game. So you've got the traits, as I said. You've got weapons in here, again with lovely icons. And it's very easy to add your own or make permutations of existing ones. So the first thing, of course, you will want to do is probably create a character. So let's go to the actors. I created a couple here already, but let's just ignore that for a moment. If I go to create actor up here, there's 2 sheets, 2 types. One is a monster or player. All right, so let's call him Quarek, our good old starter kit barbarian. And you're greeted with this sheet. So next thing, of course, if you have gone through the steps of character creation, you know all this. You've got the attributes down the side. You've got the toughness calculation up here, corruption calculation, and you've got these different tabs. So you've got gear, you've got bio, and you've got notes in the end. The attributes here, if you want to key them in, or you just want to click here and use the mouse wheel to change them, I thought you could, then you should be able to. Don't know why that doesn't work right now. But you can also just click on modify here, and you've got a quick entry field. So let's say I've got, I don't know, 15, 13, 12, whatever. 10, 10, 10, 7, something like that. Of course. Confirm. So if I now look at my Quarek, yeah, I've got the values. They are not the standard array, doesn't really matter. Toughness, just make sure he doesn't start life dead. You've got that there set up. Right, let's see. I want to give this guy a few abilities. I haven't prepared this bit, but let's just go through some of these. Go to items. And up here you want to say he's robust. Right, robust is a trait. Okay, click it across, robust. I want him to be a shield fighter. So just put shield in the search bar and immediately get all the different things that you may need here. Let's assume that he has got, why not? He's a berserk. So he's got a berserker. So that should do. From the rest of the book, my starting equipment, I might know that he's got a spear. Let's have a look. Oh, spear's not here. Right. Let's have a look what weapons are here. He's got a busted sword. He's got maybe something small. He's got a parrying dagger, and if he's a shield fighter, he needs a shield, doesn't he? So shield. Let me just search that again. Shield. Right. So I just dragged it on the character sheet anyway. Some of you may have seen that the protection has gone up already. But if, for example, I now say, oh, armor, he needs some armor. What armor shall we give him? Shall we give him a light, sort of a leather armor here, light armor? So you can now see that this is currently not worn. If you click on here, it's now worn. The other one, the dummy unarmored one, goes away. And here you can equip the weapons. Let's say he's got the bastard sword one-handed and he's got his shield. What has happened now here is you can see that the protection has already updated. We have got the list for the light armor here, which allows you to roll from here as well. If you click light armor now, that's your defense roll. And if you go to the chat, it will pop up in a minute. And you can see his defense failed. So we needed to roll armor, and automatically it rolls armor, and he got the maximum he was able to get. Protection, no, not quite, 3 into 2. He got 5 protection from his armor. The way Symbaroum works, NPCs make static attack and static damage, but your armor flexes. So that's where the randomness comes in. So that's how that works. If I wanted to attack somebody, and I'm just going to show you how to roll from the sheet, you click on the weapon you want to attack with. You might get it modified depending how good your opponent's defense is. You enter that there. You can say favor or disfavor, or you roll as an advantage, which gives you +2. And then you can roll, and again, we've got an 8, which is a hit, so damage gets rolled automatically. And in the chat card here, you see all the different bits that you need. So yes, I succeeded by a margin of 2, and it's going to be 7 damage against the opponent. Right, so that's how you populate talents. This is how you populate weapons. Of course, here you can see these little dashes. These dashes currently mean I haven't told the system yet what level of competency I've got. So for example, if I wanted to have novice here, I just need to go in and say I've learned the novice level of this talent. You can see it's now F for free action. Shield fighter, for example, I'm always a novice. And for robust, I might just say, actually, I'm beyond novice. I'm an adept. Okay, so what does that mean? I can't tell you because it's in the rule book, but I can show you how to get it populated in here. What also has happened up at the top is that your experience gets calculated. So it says, okay, you have 2 novice and 1 adept skills. That's actually the equivalent of 50 experience points. If you want to balance that out, you say basically you start with 50 experience, and then it works. But later on, if you get extra experience, you get awarded after session. You can put something like a 5 in here. No, not quite. But you can log it up here, and it will automatically tell you for what that is for. Oh yes, okay. The mouse over it actually tells you what the fields are for. I just chose the wrong field. Right, next step. I wanted to show you how to actually get the information into this as well. So what I've done here, let's use Berserker. And you can see that there's no description, no novice, no adept, no master. What I've done is I've just taken the Berserker thing from the rule book. And what I typically do is I put it into Notepad++. So it looks like this, just straight copy and paste. You see the title at the top, then there's a paragraph of description, and then there's novice in here, there's adept in here, and there's master in here. I find it quite difficult or annoying if I copy and paste and I've got all those extra line breaks. So what this allows you to do, select the lines you want to join, Control J, then you join up the lines. And that is a very, very quick way to edit up the text a little bit to make it a bit easier to copy and paste. So I can then grab the first bit, delete it out of there, go across to my skill description. Oops, that's not what I wanted, that's what I wanted. Paste it in there, save it, and now I've got the next one, novice. Grab the novice bit. And I'll tell you, when I set this up originally for myself, I had to set up everything. What's pre-done for you here is the different levels, and the action types are correct most of the time. A couple of mistakes are spotted. So this is how you can relatively swiftly now, because of the guy's work, you can populate your rule system. But to be honest, as soon as this becomes available commercially, I'm going to buy it, because I just love having it properly done rather than copy and pasting everything. I spent so much time putting this into Fantasy Grounds initially, then putting it into Foundry, and then putting it in Foundry again because something had changed. So now we have the descriptions in here. So if I now go into Berserker, my players or myself can see this very easily and say, oh right, yes, I've got this ability here. So you can just play it from there. But you can also do some of the abilities. I'm just going to give this guy a token. So I can show you this properly. Is you can actually rely on some of the abilities being automated now as well. So let's have a look. Kvarek, where are you? Kvarek token. Token, update it. And I'm going to put him on my street scene. So load a quick street scene here. That's for my battle. Go to the actor, drag him across. There's Kvarek. He doesn't have visibility yet. So, okay, just give him 20 dim, 20 light, just for the purposes of this exercise. You can see a few things now. So, I want him to go berserk. Yeah, that he's getting angry. He is getting angry. So, what I can do here is I can just click on here, on this die. You get a little message. Did you see how the values all changed up here? So, the damage he's causing has changed. His defense has changed. All the things that are described in here, dealing 1d6 extra damage when fighting in melee, yeah, and the attribute on which defense is based is considered to be 5 when calculating defense. There's a spelling mistake on the core rulebook here. Should have it's not actually but, is it? So, and that I find is really cool. Yeah, I didn't have to say, oh, right now I have to set up a different modifier while I'm in Berserk or whatever. I could basically just switch to Berserk mode. Yeah, if I go back in here, actually what you should be able to see, no, okay. I was pretty sure he had last time we did this, he had a little indicator as well for Berserk, but it doesn't matter. So I can go back into here and press it again, and what happens? The value changed back, and in the chat you also get this notification for both of them. Kvarek enters Berserker Rage. Yeah, immediate damage increased, and we've got the same going the other way. So some of these things down here with the applies results to token are extra automation. I'm hopefully going to get to this a bit later. So that shows you how to set up a character and a token, how to populate the talents, how to copy stuff across from the rulebook swiftly. One other thing that is really cool in here is I'll show you one other thing before I do the last cool thing. If you know my videos, that's how they work. I often change my mind halfway through what I want to do. So if you look at the settings for this system, you can see that there are various things that you are able to do, basically switch on or off. These are optional rules. So you can have the combat enhancement, for example, for smooth combat. In the system guide that I showed you at the beginning, it talks a bit more about this, but you can target people, you can automatically get the right modifiers. It's a bit fiddly, but if you don't want to do all the calculations yourself, if you want a bit more automation, you can take that. I play with the criticals, yeah, fumbles or whatever you want to call them. So I switch that on. Optional critical rolls, yeah, click to, as you can see, you get extra damage or extra free attacks if you fumble or if you are really, really good. You can switch on, for example, combat settings for rolls here that they are remembered, modifiers are remembered. So in each attack you don't have to tell the system that there's the same modifier. But yeah, you can read it yourself. So that's a really important tab to check out. If you're wondering, is anything missing from the system, can I do this, can I do that, check in here. Right, and then the last thing I wanted to show you was the little macros that come with it. So we have these two macros at the bottom. If you don't know how to get a macro, once you imported it from the compendium, macro compendium, here, these two. And once you imported them, you click on the little folder, pops up what's available. By the way, if you want to make them available for your players, you need to find them, and I can never remember where they are, and share them. But you can do it from here. Configure permissions, yeah, from the macros directory. So, but NPC importer, I wouldn't share that with the guys, and this one probably not either. But if I click on the name generator briefly, go over here, I've dragged it onto my bar, name generator. It says, what do you want? I want a name for a masculine goblin. Alright, there you go, you've got 10 names. I love that. I think that's really cool. Yeah, and you've got these different categories, and it's so swift and so easy to do. Right, and the other one is even more useful. So if you have the stats block from a character, and I've taken one here from the Chronicle of the Copper Crown, I'll just show you this, which was robbers. Yeah, I've just copied them across here. Copy the whole thing. I'm not removing anything, I'm not reformatting it in any way, it's just as it would come from the rulebook. Click on your NPC importer, paste the information on there, Control V, and what you get is created. Oh, that's annoying. That worked last time. Maybe I messed that up a little bit. I'll show you that in the next video because it does work. Yeah, so I've, for example, created here the robbers now, and you can see that the values are all in, and I'm not sure why they would be undead. What did it say, undead robbers? Or did I mess something up? If I messed something up, yeah, robbers, traits, resistant shelling, race undead. Yeah, they are undead robbers. Okay. Okay. Right, so they are undead apparently. But you can see toughness is set, the corruption is set for them. What is not automatically set are weapons. So if there's any gear with them, you have to then populate this bit. If they're natural weapons, you have to populate that bit. But these things, the first page is basically all done for you with a copy and a paste, and I think that's lovely. So sorry if that didn't quite work as well. And you often will have to edit the name a little bit, and remember to edit the prototype token name as well. Otherwise, if you drag them across, sometimes you get some very funny descriptions up there. Right, so I think that's probably the bit for the first bit. If you want me to include particular things in the next video, or if you've got any questions, let me know. Definitely is a system that has come in along leaps and bounds on Foundry, and I can't wait for it to have the full compendium content. Right, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video.